This is my husband Ryan, and the only book he's read recently is Atomic Habits. So I thought it would be fun to do round 2 of Husband Controls What I Read, but this time do it for an entire month and just put a bunch of books in front of him that I want to read but can't figure out which ones to choose. He chose 5 books in this video on my vlog channel. Maybe I should make a main channel video reading all these books.
Yeah.
And he also chose the order, and I will be following it for the entire month of June. Starting with book 1, Red Rising by Pierce Brown. This is actually an adult sci-fi book, and I very heavily hinted to him that I wanted to read it this month, and I am so glad I did. And you will see why. I actually didn't film reading this one that much. Book is crazy. I love it. Second up, I was supposed to read Twin Crowns, which is a young adult fantasy with a little bit of romance, and Ryan predicted that this would be a 5-star book for me. Hey guys, it's June 11th, Sunday. Just got back home from church and brunch, which means I have the rest of the day to read and relax. So I've been reading Twin Crowns. It's been a few days of reading, and I'm on page 145. The writing of this book definitely feels very YA. Even though stakes are high, it doesn't really feel that high. It doesn't feel like an intense book. It feels like a very whimsical, almost kind of like Caraval series, but even less stakes than that, because the writing is very simple. And yeah, I feel like a very young person could read this book. So I'm having fun, but especially coming off of reading the first 2 books in the Red Rising series, which is super high stakes, this feels so chill. But I think I'm enjoying it. Good morning. I just woke up, if you can't tell. Good morning, sweet news. He hasn't had his coffee yet. Okay, I am on page 285 of Twin Crowns. It's definitely getting better. I had to watch a bunch of TikToks to hype myself up to read it. And I was like, do people like this book? Because I'm kind of not getting into it really. I'm just gonna pretend like I'm doing a 24-hour readathon, start this, and then just sit here until I finish this book. And then I've been putting on a fantasy playlist in the background, and they're so good, actually. It's June 13th now, almost halfway through the month, but that's okay because I've read Red Rising. I'm in my car to have my final reading session of Twin Crowns. I should be finishing it right now. I have a coffee. I have my glasses on to go on a walk after reading because my vision's already getting blurry from reading today. We're at peak conflict, so should be pretty easy to fly through, hopefully. I don't know why, but if something isn't mega high stakes, I just get so distracted. This was just written in such a cutesy way that even though things were high stakes and people were literally dying, it just didn't really feel like it had any weight, or that it was I never felt on edge while reading it, not intense enough for me. So I couldn't get into it. It was starting to get really fun at the end, but even at the end I was really excited to just be finished with this. So unfortunately, I think I'm gonna give it 3 stars, but maybe a 3.5, because I feel like I understand why a lot of people like it, and if I was more into a cozy fantasy vibe, then I would love this book, but I just don't like cozy fantasies. I like when things are heart-pounding to read. But now I actually decided to download the audiobook of The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes so that I can start walking around and listening to an audiobook, because I still have 3 more books to read this month, and I'm reading one for my enemy next, which I think this will be very easy for me to read because I'm so excited to read it. But I figured I could listen to an audiobook while also physically reading, not at the exact same time, obviously. I'm talking separate times, but reading, I don't know how to explain this. You get what I mean. But I'm also gonna start this one when I get home so we can start progressing, you know what I mean? Okay, I'm gonna go on that walk now. I'm at a friend's house. I'm gonna keep listening to the audiobook while I do this puzzle. I've been a little bit obsessed with puzzles lately. It's June 16th. Oh, hi, doggy. Going under. And it's time for me to start reading One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake. I'm having my first reading session of it. I've actually started reading this probably twice, and I'm 70 pages in, but it's time for a long reading sesh of it. And I am almost done with the Songbirds. I never remember the title of that book. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes audiobook, and I've been loving that audiobook, which is so nice because I actually usually don't like audiobooks that much, but it's been so enjoyable specifically for this one because it's like a good action story to be read. And then when different people in the districts are talking, he'll use different voices, and he's like a good voice actor, so it's not annoying. It's actually helpful for me to understand who's talking and what their role is in the book, because I feel like sometimes in books like that I get confused with like how old someone is or just random things that the audiobook just help you understand. And then it's made me more productive because I can do my puzzle, I can do my laundry, I can do the dishes, things that I normally don't, well, I do normally want to puzzle, but other things that I don't normally want to do, I get motivated to because I'm like, oh, I need something to do with my hands while I do my little puzzle. So let's read One for My Enemy. Ryan's making me try Carl's gummies.
They're so good.
From the Mr. Beast squad. Comment down below if you know who Carl is. I'm smacking. Oh my gosh.
Are they good?
Wait, they're really good? Carl, you've outdone yourself. Giving them an update on the book you made me read. Ryan's trolling over there, guys. Should I turn the camera on you?
No.
I'm reading the book you made me read. Third.
Olivia Blake.
Yes, I love her writing. I wish I could write like her. I wish I was the author. I'm on page 100 and I'm loving the banter. There's a lot of banter over text message and they're both really sassy. He's playing this whole character as like, one of the love interests is playing the like, he's kind of playing a simp, which I've never really seen in a romance book where they're just overly, like he's just texting. Okay. Spock's freaking out. But this is a Romeo and Juliet retelling, except they're rival witch families, but it's set in modern day New York City at NYU, the college. And I've got 300 pages to go, and I'm very excited because I love her writing. Wish I wrote this book. Also, I wish more paperbacks were this size. It's massive. It's almost like the size of a hardback, and it has these beautiful cover pages in them.
Suddenly, the world I used to know, I see it differently. You woke me from a
Coriolanus began to make plans for the future.
stuck in repeat. Stop lying. I know you played your part, but baby, it's breaking my heart. How could I know if you don't need me?
Hello, setting change. I am now in Huntington Beach, California because two of my best friends' birthdays are on June 20th and one of them, Brie, lives here. So Ryan and I and our friend are here for that. But the day before we left, I ended up finishing the audiobook of The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. And I was so conflicted on my review of that book, not only because it's an audiobook, so I feel like I get a little bit confused on how to review it because the experience is so different than actually physically reading it. And then also because it was such an interesting prequel to The Hunger Games following Snow. You would expect it to just be a typical villain origin story, but it low-key starts off as like this wholesome, endearing romance story to the point where I forgot that Snow ever becomes a villain. It's a pretty chill, slow-paced book. And then at the end, the character development of him becoming evil feels so fast. And then everything that takes place in like the last 60 pages or so is just a whirlwind. So I looked up a bunch of Goodreads reviews and that was like most of the comments was that the pacing of the book was just really strange. So I would agree with that. It's definitely like a slower paced book, I feel like. Not that slow because it's a dystopian, like you're seeing a Hunger Games play out, but it's kind of like mundane things that they're showing. Well, it's mundane and then it's not. Like it'll just be randomly slow and then something crazy will happen. But I really enjoyed it and I particularly liked it as an audiobook. I feel like there are only very specific books that I enjoy on audio and this would be one of them because of the different voices that they did for all the different characters in the Hunger Games. And it just felt very movie-esque. So I would highly recommend the audiobook for sure. And I think I'm gonna give that book 4 stars. So I really enjoyed that. I am really excited for the movie now. I'm glad that I read that first. And now I am 326 pages into One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake. There's only 400 pages, so I'm probably gonna finish this today. And I really like it so far. It's just a drama-filled rival families and like 2 or 3 different subplots of romance, but not in like their typical format, in like a enemies way. So it's really fun to read and her writing is so poetic, unique, and beautiful, and I am obsessed with it. Are you doggy?
I think so.
It is June 22nd. Spock's about to chew his bone because he does it without fail every time I turn on my camera. It's truly a phenomenon. Good boy. Last night I finished One for My Enemy. by Olivia Blake. I loved this book. It was so good. I loved her writing style. I didn't feel that like yearning for the romance. I felt kind of emotionally removed while reading the beautiful writing, but I loved the drama of the families going back and forth, and I loved all the characters, and it was actually funny as well. Like, this book was really funny in certain spots. So I highly recommend it if you like kind of more poetic writing, but it doesn't take itself too seriously, but it's got some beautiful lines in it. I think I'm gonna rate it a 4.5, which is really, really high, but I love Olivia Blake. She's one of my favorite authors ever, so not surprised by that at all. So glad they republished it so that everyone knows about it now. Which means I only have one more book to read for this month, and that is the longest one, which is The Institute by Stephen King. This was technically supposed to be the 4th book that I read, and then The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes after, but I already listened to that audiobook, and I thought I'd still be listening to it at this point, but I'm not. But it is a cozy thunderstorming day, so we're gonna go to a coffee shop, and I'm gonna start this book, and we'll see if it's a fast read, because it's 557 pages, and I leave for a trip in like 4 days, so I'm hoping to finish it before then, and we will see. I haven't read Stephen King in like a month and a half, so I'm excited. I'm currently 255 pages into this book, and it's so interesting because it starts out following a completely different character, and we just haven't revisited him at all, and now we're in Luke's point of view, who's a 12-year-old little boy. Look at the cover. Look how cool that little spot is right there. So yeah, I'm very curious to see when that first character comes back in, because it feels like I read a completely different book at the beginning, but it's really good so far. It's July 1st, and that means I technically failed this reading challenge because I still have 100 pages of The Institute left. I haven't been reading that much on this vacation. I'm in Florida right now at a friend's parents' house, and we've just been going to the beach every day and hanging out, and I'm not gonna lie, this book, I feel like it's slowed down and I've been getting bored, and I can't tell if it's because I'm on vacation, but I have times in the morning where I can read without distraction and I'm still just getting bored, which is weird because I really like the main character, but I'm a little bit removed from the plot a little bit, and it also does like introduce new POVs a lot, and I'm wondering if that's what's taken me out of it, and I just want to follow one person's point of view. But I'm gonna try to finish it today. I'm probably not gonna finish it today, I'll be honest with you, but I'm gonna try.
Hey, Pookaloos.
Okay, Pookaloo.
You did it.
Here was the TBR you set for me.
Mm-hmm.
And the order.
Yes.
Because apparently I let you choose that as well.
I'm spoiled.
Did you remember seeing my reactions throughout the month to any of these?
Yes, you loved Red Rising.
Yeah.
And you listened to this.
Yes, you probably heard some of that, didn't you?
Yeah, I actually heard it and I enjoyed it.
Really?
I heard a lot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounded really good.
Come on.
So
Come on.
cute.
Okay, this was 6 stars.
That's not even available as an option.
But it was. Twin Crowns, you predicted it would be 5-star. Unfortunately, it was like my lowest rated one of the whole month.
What?
Yeah.
They're fighting for the crown.
I know. It just felt a little juvenile. It is young A, or YA. Don't know why I said that.
Young A's valid.
Young A. It was 2 YA. Which
okay.
I never say that. I love YA.
Yeah.
So there's like 3.5 stars.
Okay.
One for my enemy.
I'm really
Olivia Blake.
Olivia Blake.
4.5 stars.
Dang, not quite 5.
No.
If you had to pick 4 or 5, what would it be?
4.
Wow.
Because I haven't thought about the book since reading it. Okay, you wanted me to read this one 4th.
Right.
I'm in the middle of it right now.
Okay.
But this man leaves for Penny Series.
Penny Series.
He has his own YouTube channel. He just started it like a few months ago.
Yeah.
Go subscribe. We're trying to get him to like a good amount of subs.
Guys, I'm trying to entertain Spock over to the right, just so you guys know.
He's been down here waiting. So it's really good so far. My prediction is that I'll beat a 4.5.
Dang, okay.
And then lastly, on audiobook. I think I gave this 4 stars.
4 stars, okay.
Pretty good.
That's pretty crazy for an audiobook experience, I feel
Exactly. But yeah.
So you're telling me, wait, you didn't tell me Twin Crowns stars. It was 4?
3.5.
Oh, 3.5. So it sounds like we have a little bit over a 4-star average.
Really?
Yeah. Depending on institution.
He's really good at math.
But
You gave me a great month of reading.
Yeah, I mean, over 4-star average, I feel like that's more than you can ask for.
Oh yeah.
I'm happy about that. And I'm glad you got a 6. Wait, I didn't even account for the 6 out.
6 stars. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's insane. It sounds like everyone needs to read Red Rising, huh?
Yes, everyone does. See you guys somewhere else on the internet. You have to really get close.
How long have you been doing this?
That
one is good.
I don't know. I don't even